Just because of a bet with friends in a bar, a man decided to travel halfway across the globe, posing as a CIA agent to deliver beer from his hometown to his childhood friend fighting in the Vietnam War. But suddenly, a sound came from the jungle, followed by a herd of elephants charging out.
No! Don't shoot! Don't shoot! Chicky!
At that moment, the man noticed that one of the soldiers in the vehicle was actually his childhood friend he was looking for. He quickly told him about how he was being chased by the CIA. Later, his friend took him to the airport and arranged for a plane to fly him to the port overnight to leave Vietnam by boat. Before leaving, he took a can of beer from his backpack, tossed it to his friend, and waved goodbye. After returning to the port, the man learned that the ship back to the United States had already departed. With no other options, he went to the embassy for help, but the staff told him that due to intelligence suggesting that the enemy might attack the port before the Spring Festival, no ships would be returning to the US in the near future. So, the man had to spend the night at a bar. But suddenly, an explosion echoed. The enemy had indeed launched a surprise attack before the Spring Festival. The man hurriedly followed a war correspondent to seek refuge at the embassy, but on the way, a soldier informed them that the embassy had been occupied by the enemy and that every block was under fire. However, before the soldier finished speaking, the armored vehicle exploded. Seeing the soldier with his hand blown off, the man finally realized how brutal war could be. He fled with the war correspondent until the next morning when the US troops finally repelled the Vietnamese forces. Civilians on the streets were cleaning up as if the war had never happened. The man rushed to the embassy, where bodies of soldiers lay everywhere, and then another explosion sounded. It turned out that the ammunition depot had been bombed. Upon hearing this, the man immediately left the embassy, found a vehicle, and drove toward the explosion, hoping to find his childhood friend stationed at the ammunition depot. With the war correspondent's press pass, the two successfully entered the ammunition depot and found his friend in the hospital. Seeing that his friend had only suffered minor injuries, the man felt relieved. He took out a can of beer from his bag and handed it to his friend, fulfilling the bet with his friends. Later, his friend arranged for a plane to send him back home. Before leaving, he invited the war correspondent to come with him, but the correspondent refused.
This is a war. Somebody's got to be here to see what's going on.
After returning to the United States, the man received the highest praise among his friends. At this point, the man also began to reflect on the meaning of war. The US involvement in Vietnam was originally just a game played by politicians, yet it had caused countless children from ordinary families to die on the battlefield. This film is based on a true story, and in reality, the man's childhood friends all returned safely from the war. Would you like to have such a friendship?